think people are still joining in. We are still early. We'll start at 9:35 precisely. So whomsoever have joined, how is the prep going, Gokul? How is the prep
We
going?
start.
I think Gokul is already a Sanjeev mentee. So Gokul, how are you doing? You can unmute
I'm
yourself
fine,
and
ma'am. How
drop
are
this.
you, ma'am?
I'm good.
I'm
How is
fine,
your
ma'am. How are you,
mentorship
ma'am?
in college going, Gokul? I'm good.
Yes, ma'am. It's going good, ma'am.
I've heard very good things about you that you are improving a lot and like there's a lot of progress in you. You are very punctual. Sanjeev talks a lot about you.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
He's scoring really good
Yes, ma'am.
How is the
right
residency
now.
going, Dr. Nishan?
Yeah, the residency is residency. And definitely more some of people who will join this UPSC this year and they want to come. And especially I met the Sayed and he came this time for the his medicals in BR Singh Hospital.
Hmm.
So 2 days he was here, he met with me and I hope he
Wow.
gets into this year he will get. Probably he is going to clear the medicals.
So for all of you, Sayed is our last year UPSC CMS when we have started this with interview prep for UPSC CMS. Sayed is one of our mentee who have cracked the CMS. And even Veerta have cracked. She got in
Yeah,
this.
she's also in. But SEC was the one where we started from almost from zero now and that he made a tremendous improvement over a period of time from 0 to 100 like a shooting star. He doesn't even know how to speak in English and all those things, all basic things that he really improved at the end of the interview.
So, student,
I got 70, he got 72. He also
Two.
beat me.
Yes. Look at his mentor.
Mentor got only 70, but he got 72. That's
Yeah,
good.
I think Jayanta also gets 75 or 70. Jayanta.
Almost 70 plus they got. Everyone
Hmm.
they got a good marks, more than means 60,
Yeah.
65 more than that. Means it was a game changer. The main
Yes.
purpose of our that session was to make that yes, interview can make a big change. It can decide your selection, and really it happened. So three of our candidates out of the candidates we have trained, three of them they basically improved after that sessions that we have arranged.
I think let's start. We already have 43 to start with. We have more than 150. I think they'll join in between. So just a brief about how we want to keep this webinar that initially Sanjeev and Bhavan will explain more about how to approach the written examination. And then Sagar and Nishant have already worked into the service, so they will help you out with other questions they have or more about how
and
the IRHS.
we
Yes.
have Abhishek from CGHS and Safira from MCD also.
Yes, so we have people who are already working in different divisions and cadres, so they will help you out with inside information that how it works and how what all benefits it's bring. And then you all are, meanwhile, you all can put your questions in the chat box. Once the initial presentation will be over, you can unmute yourself or ask, or we can pick the questions from the chat box. Meanwhile, I'm Astha, I'm co-founder of Salaah Shots. So Salaah Shots is just trying to connect all the medical people who were sitting in silos before that. So I know you all have lots of duties, and that ended up making you all being in isolation or doing your own things, and that's what we want to break, that you become accessible to more number of people and start helping more number of people. So initially Sanjeev was only accessible to his college juniors, but now he is mentoring other people, college student or the anybody who wants to take his help. And that's the only theme Salah have, that let's connect all the medical community. There are many people who is helping me in building that. Sagar, Nishant, they are with us since the first brick we started. Nishant was with us. Nishant is the first like two or three mentors we have, and Sagar is just the soul of it. So we will just I will unmute myself now. I'll stop. Bhavan, over to you.
Yeah,
Let's
play the video.
I'll play the video first. Okay, ठीक है. Here you go. So what we genuinely want to portray from here is that there are so many exams already lined up for you, and we know that how difficult it is for all of you to deal with it. But just stop putting so much pressure on yourself and trust the process that whatever the result will be, that's might be meant for you and that might be able to give you some lessons which you have to understand. So stop fighting and pushing so much pressure on you, or stop resisting the situations. Just do your best every day. Just do it in a very structured way rather than just fooling around yourself that you are studying. Just be very honest and figure out where you are going wrong, and then fix that problem, and then just keep giving your best. उससे ज़्यादा there's nothing in your control. So don't just think around कि UPSC result में क्या होगा, or even NEET के result में क्या होगा. Just give your best, and that's only you can control. And me, Sagar, we are all here to help you out in any situation. So just drop us a text. We are always available on Salaah number, and we will do our best in our capacity to help you out. So over to you, Bhavan. You can just present your screen. I'll mute myself now. Take care.
So is it visible now?
Yes.
Yes, it's
Yes.
visible. You can start with.
Okay, fine. So good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Bhavan Jikar, and I have given the UPSC CMS 2024 and secured an All India rank of 29. I've also cracked the recent INI-CET and now awaiting the counseling for the same. So let us begin with the session. So basically, I have divided into three parts. First, on what should be focused during this last 4 weeks or so. Then second part would be on what to focus on the exam day. And last part is something how the UPSC will be relevant for the upcoming NEET also, since many of you would be giving NEET now that it is postponed. So now first coming on to what to focus on these last 4 weeks. So the first priority would be to solve the previous year paper. Ideally, you should be solving them from the 2018 because that's when the pattern changed to the current pattern. But at least you should solve the past 3 years paper because the UPSC has quite the different pattern from the usual PG exams. They ask more statement-based questions. They usually ask from the restricted topics, but they go in the more depth. So if you solve the papers, then you can get an idea on what topics or what patterns to exactly focus on these last days. So as I said, consolidate on the topics from these papers because many of the topics and quite a few of the concepts in the PSM, in the medicine are getting repeated. So stick to the basics. What used to be asked will be asked. So essentially, the focus in the last day should be on mastering those topics so that we should not get anything wrong from those topics. To put it in a single phrase that you can remember every time while you are reading, you should focus that silly, not fancy. Meaning that you should not run behind something fancy or new things in this last month or so, but rather ask yourself every time, what is the probability it has of getting asked? If you are thorough with these basic topics, then of course you can go on to focus on the other topics that also has a probability to ask. But the approach that I'm trying to tell you is that you should go with the probability-based approach that what has the highest lead of getting asked in the exam. So the revision strategy for this last 4 weeks, that it's never about knowing the tough answers. In the UPSC paper, there will be quite a few questions that you have absolutely no idea about. But you must realize that those are not the questions that will give you the rank or secure your selection. It's about you will not get selected when you make a mistake in the question which none of the others would make. So our focus should be on not getting those questions wrong. And in the exam strategy, which I will tell you, we will try to figure out how to get to the answer to those tough questions also. So in the last 4 weeks, ideally, you should be targeting 2 revisions. The first major revision in the 3 weeks and the last one a week before the exam. In the 3 weeks, you should try to cover all the major subjects, the medicine, pediatric surgery, obstetrics, and PSM, and also try to skim through the minor subjects of final year as well. Because they tend to ask 1 or 2 questions from the orthopedics or anesthesia or psychiatry also. And they are usually very easy topics, or how you say, the low-hanging fruit. So if you skim through that, you can get those questions correct also. Also, practice the statement-based question. UPSC has a tendency to ask those 1, 2, 3 questions. If any of you have attempted recent INI-CET, you would know how frustrating those questions can be, especially when we are in the pressure of exam, whether to mark 1, 2 or 1, 2, 3. So if you are thorough with the practice of those questions on the exam day, you will able to rule out the answer fast, find the keyword on those statements, and quickly get through that question. Otherwise, those questions will take up a lot of your time, because in the UPSC you have 2 hours to complete the 120 questions. So if you are getting stuck at one question, like this kind of question, you will miss out on the easy one-liner question that you can easily get correct. And finally, after the revisions and the easy topics, the previous year topics, if you are thorough with them, you should try to cover the finer details. Especially finer details like recent updates in the PSM. There is a recent update in the SRS data. You should cover that. There are some recently launched programs. They can also ask that. Also, there are some scores or stages in surgery and medicine. They tend to ask the questions from that. There are many number-based questions from the pediatrics. If they are going there, they can ask that kind of questions. So basically, the revision strategy, to simplify, that first cover the previous year topics and questions if you haven't already. In the final weeks of leading up to the exam, you should focus on the question first. The probability of them getting asked is very much higher than other any fancy or newer things. And finally, if you have the time, you should try to cover the finer things also. In the last week before the exam, you should try to skim through all the topics once, because if you have those topics in your working memory, that would be really helpful to get through the question faster during the exam day. Now coming to the strategy just before the exam. Now these are few things which are usually not mentioned anywhere, but I think they are very important to give you a better result, even with the similar preparations. Now, if you are getting panicked or frustrated just before the paper or while you are waiting for the paper outside the center, you should try to give yourself the positive affirmations. That kind of, I am going to make it, I'm not going to panic. You will see the huge crowd of students. Many of you would know, you would think that I do not stand a chance, but you should not let these thoughts come over to you. Now, second thing would be to plan for your exams, but do not over-optimize. Many of times we have strategy to make the paper perfect, the preparation perfect, but the world does not behave like that. You would face difficulty while traveling to the exam center. You might miss something, center would not be perfect, the fan might not be working. There might be a lot of issues, but if you tend to over-optimize on the sense, whenever the things will go wrong, you will start to panic. So you should have a comfort zone in your mind, even when the things don't go as per your plan. And finally, and most importantly, you should give adequate rest to your mind the day before. You are going to have to solve 240 questions, so your mind does need energy. So take the adequate sleep and do not try to cover something new just the day before the exam. Now, I believe this is the most important slide that today I am going to share, the exam day strategy. What I have realized from my preparation is that the difference between a great rank and a good rank is how one handles the exam day. Because you realize that after a point, everybody has read the same resources, everybody has almost a similar level of preparation. What gets you an edge is how you tackle the exam day. So first advice on that exam would be to maintain your temperament. How your composure or presence of mind is on if that exam day will get you an edge. The second thing and the most important advice I can give you about any MCQ exam is to rule out the 3 wrong options. Don't look for the one right option and just go mark them. Rule out the 3 options. If you can rule out 3 options, there is absolutely high chance that you will not make any silly mistake in the paper. And also it gives a very good strategy to attempt the tough questions. See, if you can rule out the if 2 options but not 1 option, then you should definitely attempt it, because then you are confused between the 2 options and there is 50% chance that you are going to get it right. If you can only rule out 1 option, then you can attempt the exam, attempt that question depending on how you are going with the exam. And if you cannot rule out any of them, it is better to leave that question. Now, other few things, that be natural during the exam. Don't try to over logicalize the question or try to overthink over the answer. Usually in the medical exam, the first answer that comes to you is always the right answer. It's when you try to juggle through that question that you mark the wrong answer. And many of my friends have got that in the recent INI. You go, you have time, you go back to the question, you mark something else, and then after the exam, that regret, you do not want to have that regret. That I know that question, I mark the correct, and then I change it to incorrect one. And finally, be decisive and move fast because time is very crucial in UPSC. You have 120 minutes for 120 to attempt the 120 questions. So if you feel that you are getting stuck, wasting more than 40-50 seconds, then you should move to the next question. You can always come back again to those questions or confusions later on. But if you get stuck on that one question, you would get into the panic, and that would also affect the other questions also. I believe you should, to summarize again, your exam day temperament, how you handle the exam is the most important thing. Basically, you should let your natural self come to the play on the exam. Think of yourself like a cricketer, like how you go on the pitch and play your natural game rather than coming into the comments of somebody else on how you should play. Then rule out the three options and be decisive and move fast. Now, very important thing, what to do in the break between two papers. UPSC is very unique in having two papers in the same day, which usually doesn't happen quite with our college exams or other PG exams. So those few hours between two papers can make or break the other paper. So first thing I would emphasize is do not read anything. Even if you feel that your preparation is not up to the mark, you should not retry to read because your brain has solved the 120 questions. Now it also has to solve 120 more. So if you try to read through the time, you will exhaust your brain and eat up all that energy that you need to have for the next paper. So try to go away in some quite peaceful corner and take some time in break. Also eat but lightly. Do not take heavy meal, but also don't avoid eating because you are going to need to have energy for the next paper. You don't want to get in hypoglycemia or have dizziness during the next paper. So keep yourself hydrated and take something with electrolytes and lemon juice or ORS or some fruit juice or like that. And also please avoid the caffeine, especially if you are not very acquainted to it. Because you already would be having the exam jitters and caffeine is only going to make it worse. Finally, BMS and PG exams. Now, since the NEET is being postponed, many of you might also be attending NEET or November INI-CET. So I want to emphasize a few areas where they both of them overlap. So first, take this UPSC as a chance to cover all of your major subjects before the NEET, because it will give you some enough of 10 days of window after the UPSC and before the NEET to work on the weak areas. If you are thorough with the subjects, if you are thorough with your revision during this time. Also, give it as seriously as NEET because it will help to develop an exam temperament. If you might be fumbled on the UPSC exam day, the pressure will get on you. But if that happens, take it as in a positive approach that it happened on this day, but did not happen on the next day. Now for the 2020 batch or those who are in internship or those who might have time for NEET PG exam, their NEET PG exam, this attempting this UPSC will help you grow your preparation. It will help with the necessary course correction, and of course, the good performance will boost your confidence. So that was it from my side. Remember that written exam will secure your selection, and interview will get your rank. So give the written exam very seriously. Hope to see you all at the UPSC Bhavan. Thank you.
Thank you, Bhavan. Now we'll continue with the Sanjeev, and then after that we'll take the questions.
Okay, there is one question in the chat box for Bhavan.
Yes.
There is, what are the resources for UPSC CMS 20? Like, he just want to know about the resources.
Okay, I think for the most part, the PG coaching exam notes and stuff are enough. But there are some special areas that you need to read on for the UPSC. I think Dr. Prasad sir's book is very nice on covering that. You can get that PDF or buy the book if you want.
And how many questions to attempt?
I think there are limited vacancies, so you should try to maximize the score. So, like following the trend of INI, you should attempt as many questions as you can. Ideally, out of the 240, you can leave out like 5 or 10 questions. But my advice would be to attempt as many as you can.
And there are
There is significant negative, but I think attempting more always has a better advantage.
And there is one quite frequent question in the which mentees have asked. One is that I'm going to appear for NEET PG. So should I sit for UPSC or not? Like, because just because of postponement, many have this doubt that should I even go for UPSC, or will it take away my attention? What should be the right approach to do?
I think if you have good enough preparation, you should attempt the exam, because it will give you a good taste of how the pressure is going to be on the exam day, how the your preparation is going. If you might fumble on UPSC day, but then we can take that as a positive for the NEET exam, that this is how it happened on the 20th, so we are not going to have it like on the 3rd of August. So I think yes, they should attempt the exam. If only if they are very far center, or they do not feel they have very good preparation, so they do not willing to waste 2-3 days for the exam, then you should not. But if you are good, if you have baseline good preparation, you should.
Yes, and there's always there's always benefit to having one or two options in your hand. Nobody knows that.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah, because end of the day, even if you are scoring best in your exam, you don't know how the exam day is going to turn out to be, what's going to happen in that particular day. So always have 2-3 options in your hand. You don't know what universe have planned for you. So if you have already filled the form, just go and give this exam, like write a very good exam. One, it will help you in preparing, it will just put you in an exam like scenario, so that it's just like a very realistic mock for your NEET PG. And second, you don't know how the result turned out. It might turn out to be in your favor. So, and you will always have a backup in your hand, and it genuinely puts out lots of pressure from you. So give it your genuine try. Don't just think much about should I go for it or not. If you have filled the form, go for it. Now solving. Okay, so we will pick questions. Definitely keep dropping it here. Now Sanjeev will present his screen, and then we will pick all the questions. Then Sagar and Nishant will also start. Okay. Sanjeev, over to you. Thank you so much, Bhavan. Just be here in the call.
Thank you.
Is my screen visible?
Yes, it's visible.
Good evening, everyone. Myself, Dr. Sanjeev. Dr. Bhavan has given the great tips. He has mostly covered all the things that you should be doing on the final day. Now, you all know that you can give this UPSC CMS even in your final year. So, what are the main steps or the things that you need to be doing in the last days, and what are the other aspects of the UPSC CMS? The first main thing is UPSC CMS is all about the basics of your final year subjects. There is no shortcuts because there are multiple choice questions, there are statement types questions, and you need to be knowing each topic in a detail. So it's all your consistency, your dedication, and your hard work which will make those things possible, so that you should be knowing every topic, everything in detail. Most of the students, they are confused what is the difference between the key difference between NEET PG and the UPSC CMS. The NEET PG is an online exam which is now more focused on your image based questions, as all it also covers all the 19 subjects, whereas UPSC CMS is concerned about your final year subjects and the PSM. But final year subjects, that you should be knowing everything in detail. So most of the students are like that they should read the first and second year subjects or not. I think first and second year subjects, they form the basics of your final year subjects. So if you have enough time, you're preparing from the initial days, you should be targeting your first and second year subjects. But if you're starting in the final year itself, it is just be focused on your final year subjects, read the textbooks you are during your final years, and read each topic in the basic details, so that at the end you could be able to make out the questions very easily. For the first and second years who are just into just starting their preparation, they can cover their subjects and textbooks during the MBBS, and at the end we have to concise our topics or our knowledge or the limitations, because there is no boundary to the syllabus. There is a vast syllabus. So how we limit our syllabus? The first thing is a concise source of preparation. Second, visiting the previous year questions which are available on the UPSC site. So you should be understanding the pattern of an exam, how it is conducted, what are the questions or they prioritize or the repeated questions, because your day-to-day life topics becomes the topics of the UPSC CMS, like diabetic management, TB programs, the shock patient, the nutrition. So whatever the cases you mostly see in your internship or your to mostly manage in your internship days, those are the most of the topics which the UPSC CMS mostly targets. Like it mainly targets the milestones in the pediatrics, the basic newborn care, the pregnancy, the labor parts, and the obs and gynae. So it is all about the normal whatever you learn in your internship days. In surgery, they mostly target about your nutrition, the NG tubes, the Ryle tubes. So during your internship, you should try to focus what cases you mostly face in your hospitals, and try to understand the pattern of the exam from the previous year questions, and always try to analyze the topics in detail, because there are multiple choice questions, there are multiple statement type questions. So you should be knowing every topic in detail, and that is another strategy by the ruling out the option. That don't just be see one option and you just click it and you are able to make a silly mistake. You're making the silly mistakes. So read all the options thoroughly, and whenever you face any long questions, like there's sometimes very long question, try to read the last line of those questions so that you are able to understand what the actual they wanted to ask in the end. So always try to read all the options and try to make the long questions a short by reading the last lines. What should be your strategy for this UPSC CMS? It depends upon the time amount of the time you have. If you're in the final year subjects, of course you can, along with your final year exams, you can, along with your textbooks, you can go with your short notes from the source whichever you're following. Or if you're in internship days, just be stick to your notes, and it is your revisions that matters, that how much many times that you have revised that topic. The starting 1 month or the 2 months you can take to explore the source, that which source will suit you best. If you're asking from me, I just followed the marrow for myself, the Sakshi Arora ma'am and the Rohit Khandelwal sir for the surgery. I personally followed these two teachers for the surgery and the obs gynae. So whatever source suits you best, just stick to it, do the maximum kind of revisions that you can make. It is your revisions and it's your consistency that will take you to that level that you are able to make on that day. Next thing is always practicing the more and more questions from that part, the solving previous year questions daily, making a habit of solving 50 to 100 custom questions in your custom module, saying the PYQs or the last year papers, the NEET PG, because ideally the same things are only asked, but it is just image based questions, and the all other 19 subjects which are also included in the NEET PG. The most of the students are like that, should they go for the rapid revision videos, as in the most of the platforms the rapid revision videos are available, or they should go for the basic videos. I would always recommend you go for the basic videos, because in rapid revision videos you will be, most of the things will be cramming, or you will be making shortcuts, or you will be going just for the one liners. You will not be able to totally understand the concept or the logic behind that. And more the things you are learning like without any concept, the more you have to cram. So by understanding that concept, you do not need to cram that topic. You will be making a basics, understanding the basics of the topic. So always go through the basic videos. You will take 2 to 3 days extra to cover that, but it will also give you confidence and a more knowledge in depth, which is required for the UPSC CMS. So just try to cover the basic videos, not the rapid revision videos. Regarding the source of preparations, of course, there are many platforms right now available. The first thing is always go firstly see the UPSC CMS previous year questions, so that you have a basic idea what to cover and what not to cover. Okay. And the next thing that you should, and it is not the initial first 1 month, you should give to explore which teacher suits you best or which platform suits you best. So always try to see which or sometimes we go for a mix. Like sometimes some people they are mostly like that they find medicine lengthy from the marrow, that they're not able to cover all the entire systems. In that way, you can just go for the some systems from the marrow or some systems from the other platforms, which makes it a so that you can optimize your time and cover it in a short period of time. So, but the main thing is always stick to that one source which you have followed and make the multiple revisions. It is the revisions that will give you the confidence, not just making or reading from the multiple sources and not revising any source again. So it is your revisions and consistency again and again. So revisions, how many revisions you can make? Because you have to at least make 2 to 3 revisions. 3 revisions are minimum, and always keep some volatile topics like SPM recent updates or some things one-liners which you can keep for your last days of your revision, so that you can go through them. And in the last days, it is always just what you have read, revise that, not go for the new things, because Just always we have a FOMO of something, the fear of missing out, that something I have not read this, here the person is reading that thing. Just don't look on others what they are doing. You just be stick to your source and keep reading the basics, because UPSC CMS mostly doesn't target the latest things. It is the NEET PG which targets it. And secondly, that is only in the SPM part which you can keep in your latest days regarding the recent updates. Regarding an interview, it is, of course, the first two shifts that is already discussed by the Bhavan, that it would be discussed in the two shifts and there would be a break. So just try to be calm and don't be anxious in those period. You just take it very lightly, because there is a mix of the questions on the day will be getting. There will be hard questions, there will be easy questions. So just be in your calm state and try to analyze all the questions and keep the difficult questions for the later part. That is the roundabout part. Don't try to waste the time initially on those questions. You should be first clicking the questions which you know very well. Just try to solve them, and later on you can go to the other questions which you found difficult or which you need to give time in the second round. So just firstly previously solve the questions which you are very sure, and always try to read all the options before marking a single question. In the interview, of course, once you are, it's a written exam is for your selection, and interview will finally decide your rank. In interview, it is a personality test. First of all, it doesn't test your academic knowledge. It is all about your confidence, how you enters, and how confidently you answer the questions. If you don't know any question, just try to ask, skip, don't waste their time. You can ask, you can directly say that I don't have any idea about this, or you can just skip those questions, but try to be confident whatever you say, because they will try to test your basic things about your hobbies. Whatever you fill in your D form, there is a basic form that they ask initially about your hobbies, about your basic activities where you have participated. So you should be very in fact knowing about the things whatever you have filled in your DAF form. So you should be knowing about those activities, about your hobbies, whatever that you have filled in your DAF form. You should be confidently explaining those things to other to the panel. Basically, panel will check your basic knowledge only in regarding your internship days, the cases that you have seen in your internship, rather than testing you in the proper academically. So it is all about your personality, how confident you answers the questions. And definitely it is going to be a great experience, once in a lifetime experience that you would be having with all the IAS officer and the different teachers from the different departments. About the cadre selection, in fact, my first preference was railways, but yes, it depends upon the lifestyle that you want and the basic what is your priorities. And I think regarding cadres, the Dr. Sagar sir will discuss better. And that is all about from my side. Thank you.
Thanks, Sanjeev. Now we'll take the questions. One question is that, sir, from now solving PYQ of CMS is enough, or more to solve NEET PG PYQ also?
I think if you're targeting UPSC CMS, you can just go for the UPSC CMS PYQs.
Okay. Next question is, what is the effect of CMS exam cutoff as NEET PG is postponed? Will it increase or decrease?
The most of the students they give UPSC CMS to check the preparation. Definitely, you just they all have the enough time. Still, you can also, but of course, more participants would be there in the UPSC CMS, so it might increase. But that also depends upon your interview also. So just don't be panic about thing or consider these things in your mind. Right now, your focus should be on your preparation rather than thinking such things.
Okay. So Sakshita Paul has asked, sir, what happens in break between two exams? Do we have to stay in center or leave in between? So Dr. Bhavan has also explained this.
Mm.
So basically, what happens between the two shift sets after the first shift ends, it is as if the exam has ended. You can go out the center, you can move even more far away from the center, and when the you will have the reporting time for the second shift. When the second shift will start, they will again do all the frisking, and you will get to your place, and it will basically as if you are giving one more exam on the same day.
Okay. So yeah, but this question is for both of you. Sir, my final year university exam has finished just 1 month ago, and what should I do for preparation right now?
I think if your exam has just ended, then you will be very much thorough with your final year subjects. So in the 1 month, you can first cover the PSM part, because in the most of the colleges it is covered in the 3rd year. And then if you have the time, you can go through the volatile subjects and volatile points in the surgery and in the obs, gynae or pediatrics. And also practice MCQs, especially because you might not be in touch with the MCQs for as your university exam is just ended.
Okay, thanks, Bhavan. So another question is, how should I change my strategy if I'm preparing for the NEET PG now?
There's no need to change your strategy, just you need to focus on your final year subjects before you need UPSC CMS, because your main target, because NEET page is a 19 subjects all around. So just now before your UPSC CMS, you should be solving more questions about of your final year subjects, the PYQs of final year subjects, and keeping more focus basically on the final year subjects. So that is the only thing you require.
There is one more very common question asked by everyone. So this question is for both of you. That many people ask regarding that key from where to prepare for the UPSC CMS regarding giving mock test and all, because not any platform right now is providing the mock test for UPSC CMS. So what you people have done?
I have basically prepared from the Marrow. So if you wanted to one suggestion, it's a Marrow is the best thing. The most of the grant tests, they are equivalent to your NEET PG and your UPSC CMS that you would be facing, because the Marrow basically tests your basics and it also gives you explanations of every questions in detail. So if you will just ask me one source, it's a Marrow. And in fact, the preparation strategies or the videos would also be, I would recommend of Marrow. The Sakshi Roda ma'am for the obs gynae, the Rolkan Delwal sir for the surgery. Medicine is a mix of bags. You can try some systems from the Deepak Marwa sir if you want to have a limited time, because sometimes some people found it very vast. So you can try it from the Deepak Marwa sir. And pediatrics, it is, I think, guys, the best thing for the, because there's some limited topics only from the peds. That is your basic newborn care, the milestones, which you can follow any sorts, whatever suits you best. So it is almost the same.
And to add on to that, for the mock test part, I think even if you cover all the previous year papers from the 2018 itself, that would also be 2 papers for each year. That would make like 15, 16 papers. So even covering that should be good enough to get you an idea of what is coming for you.
One more thing, one more point I want to add, that this exam you have to fill the OMR. So you people do not have that habit of filling OMR because last time you have filled when you have given your NEET UG exam, and after 5.5 years you're gonna get chance to fill the OMR. So it's better to practice OMR filling before going for the exam, because as we know, we can make silly mistakes while filling those OMR. Yeah, Nishant, you want to say something?
Uh, First of all, I would like to thank Dr. Bhavan and Dr. Sanjeev. They have very beautifully covered all the things related to UPSC CMS. I was listening to it from the first slide of Dr. Bhavan. See, the things that we have, I think me and Sagar, we have given this written exam in 2018, right? And right now we are discussing in 2025. But the basic essence of the exam and the preparation is still remains the same, as the Dr. Bhavan is pointing out and the Dr. Sanjeev has pointed out. How the pediatrics has to be covered. Ghai is the sufficient part, only the 10. And for the mock test, all those, the Dr. Bhavan has rightly pointed out that if you solve the previous year question papers, you can directly assess where you are standing. I still remember in 2018, there was no mock test. I just went and solved the 2017 question paper. I was securing more than 50%. So you don't, it doesn't require any high-fi preparation at all. So the basic thing is you stick to the basic subjects that they are already telling you. And instead of roaming here and there, you just focus what are the basic topics that they have covered. In the way Dr. Sanjeev have told that from where the discrete subjects has to be taken out. Like especially he has mentioned about the ops, where you can take out the medicine part if you're finding it vast from the marrow. Again, you have to take it from the other sources. So I think the discussion should be kept that, yeah, you don't have to be run here and there. It should be limited. That is the thing, and it doesn't change over these 5 to 6 years, right? Am I right, Dr. Sagar? You want to comment on this?
Yeah, yeah, definitely you are right.
Yeah. Okay.
One more question is that is Dr. Prasad book enough for MCQs, or there is any other book for practicing MCQs? Yeah, it's already answered by Dr. Bhavan. So if anyone asks, want to ask question, you can put in the chat box, or you can directly unmute yourself and ask the question. Okay, then we'll move to the next part of this webinar regarding different cadre things, so that it will be easy for you to choose when you will get chance to choose the cadre. So we'll start with Dr. Nishant regarding the railways, then we'll move forward. Yeah, Dr. Nishant, over to you.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Sagar. Am I audible?
Yes, yes, you are audible.
Yeah. Okay. Hello, everyone. Dr. Bhavan wants to say something in between.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
no,
Dr.
sorry.
Bhavan.
I mistakenly raised hand, sorry.
Okay, no
Just
issues, no
was being
issues.
closed
Okay.
down.
Hello, everyone. Myself, Dr. Nishant Dhiman. I have done MBBS I'm from Indira Gandhi Medical College, Shimla. I belong to batch 2014 MBBS batch. Then during my internship, I appeared for this UPSC CMS exam, 2019. I cleared it in my first attempt and secured 70 marks in my interview. After that, I got Indian Railway as a cadre. And in Indian Railways, I got posted into the Eastern Railway under the Howrah division. I was posted in. I started my journey in Indian Railways from a health unit level. My health unit was located in Vardhaman. So it's in the West Bengal region. So to understand how the doctors are being posted in Indian Railways, so basically the Indian Railways is the working in Indian Railways is similar to your the state health services. So it's a three level process. So first is your the health unit, or we say the primary health centers. Second is at your the divisional level, that is like your district hospitals, and third is your tertiary level, that is the central hospitals. So the railways are divided into basically different zones all over the India. First, you need to know that when you are posted in railways, you may be posted in any zone, anywhere, any part of the India. Like Sagar is posted in Northern Frontier Railway, I am posted in the Eastern Railways. So there are different zones, 16 zones, and other there are workshops. So all these zones, they are further bifurcated into three levels, as I am telling. In the health unit level, you are posted as a medical officer, where you have to look all the OPD based works, which is approximately of 50% works, and the 50% will be your the administrative work that you have to deal. Once you are a specialist, you will be posted in the divisional hospitals, where you have to give a services like a specialist. But you have to remember that in railways, you are always an administrative officer. So apart from doing your work of the specialist cadre, you have to do the other works also. You may be given duties as a general duty medical officers, and you may be given duties for the emergency duties also, and administrative duties, like you have to handle the procurement of your drugs, stores. You will be made some in charges of some programs that you have to carry out. And the third tertiary level posting is your the central hospitals. So usually every zone has its own central hospital where DNB residency programs are being done. And according to that, you can be posted in a central hospital. So, but most of the times, we have 595 health units which are spread over all over the India. So most of the young male doctors, they are being posted into the health units. All those places, whether you're in a health units or in a division or a central hospitals, they have their discrete advantages are also there, disadvantages are also there. So it's a mixture of it. So it depends what you like. It's a big long discussion. What tasks you have to perform in the health unit, what tasks you have to perform in the divisional hospitals, and what tasks you have to perform in the central hospital. So this is the basic idea of getting into the railways. Choosing railways, why you should choose the railways? Yeah, because it is all over India. You may have a chance to get a posting nearby your home. Secondly, if you are in a railways, you get a special privileges of getting a first class 6 sets of a ticket. As I say, from Kanyakumari to Jammu and Jammu to Kanyakumari, you can travel in a first AC with a very minimal charges. Their officers' rest houses are there, which you can allot at any platform, at any station, and many discrete places directly by booking from the websites that we are having. And the more important thing, once you are posted in the division and the central headquarter areas, you have the club facilities, which I don't think so most of the other cadres do they have. So in the club facilities, you have your gyms, you have your swimming pools, you have your club activities, your club events from day to day that they are being conducted. So basically, in a railway, it's like a separate knee. Basically, it's like an army, but without any uniform. You have all the different departments around you, from whether it's total, there are 11 departments in the Indian Railways, which you have to coordinate with different departments. And it's like you have to intermix with them. Then only you can survive in the railway. And secondly, being a doctor, yeah, you are a doctor also, but you also have to make yourself worse with the administrative work which you have to do. So this is a bit not a very long discussion of how the things run in the railways. Especially, I would request to the Sagar. We have already conducted one session where we have given a very elaborative description of how the things happen in the Indian Railways that you can ask. And the most important thing, even if you are an MBBS, you can choose for a higher specialization. The railways have the DNB residency programs that I am going through right now. Sagar has already been a part of it, and that you can avail. So with a good stipend and everything, it is easy, and a good, you don't have to work too much hard for that. So that is the one thing. And other doubts, if you can ask, you want to ask, that we can elaborate. I don't want to take much time, and over to you, Sagar, if you want to add on this, or you want me to elaborate anything more.
Yeah, it's totally fine. If anybody have any questions regarding the railway cadre, we'll try to answer you. You can put in the comment section, or you can directly ask. Yeah.
One question has come up.
Yeah. What is your stipend
Yeah.
and UPSC CMS salary
Stipend,
now 2
so
lakhs per month?
yeah. So the thing is, okay, the first part is the stipend. Whenever you get the stipend, it will be in the central services. It's a level 10. And level 10 stipend right now with all DA and your allowances, it's going to be a 1,33,000 around gross is made, out of which some tax is deducted. And if you are staying outside you have not taken any accommodation, you will get approx 1,23,000. So that is the one thing. And second is UPSC CMS salary now 2 lakh per month. The thing is that if you are expecting that the 8th pay commission is coming up, then definitely it's going to be 2 lakh per month or near about that. The thing is that one, I can say that we are hiring the contractual doctors in the railways as an MBBS. Firstly, they used to get 75,000 per month, but right now they are getting a 95,000 per month for working 48 hours in a week. So you can expect that salary will not be any problem in due course of time. How transfers are done and in how many years? See, Mohit, thank you for this question. Over the years, I have realized that in railways, it doesn't matter whether you are posted at our home or you are posted far away, because as I was posted in a health unit, I cannot leave my health unit beyond 8 kilometers. So I told it's like similar to Indian Army, because 24 hours you have to remain vigilant. Anytime train accident can happen. It happened in my time also, when there was a collapse of some railway infrastructure in the station. So you have to be there. If you have to move beyond 8 to 10 kilometers, you have to inform your higher authorities. So in that way, if you're in a health unit, it doesn't matter. If you're in a divisional hospital, then it's a good. For a transfers, if you are having some spouse in your life, then you can take a transfer easily. Otherwise, you have to wait 4 to 5 years, because it will take a due course of time. Next question is, sir, in railways, we can be placed in any junction, right? I am from Karnataka, possible location in Karnataka. See, choosing this Indian Railways as a cadre, you have to keep in mind you can be posted anywhere in India. So getting posting into the Karnataka, I cannot say at this time of now. If anything happens in the future, then it's up to. But yeah, it's usually in this UPSC services, there is a dictum that if you are from particular one state, you should be posted in other state, then you can serve a better. It has many basically a broad way of discussion why it is why it happens. Previously, doctors used to get their home postings, but right now, due to the shortage of the vacancies in their home states, doctors they are usually not getting the home posting. So you have to get prepared that once you are choosing this, you can be posted anywhere. Ankit Kumar has asked, Sir, AC first class, how many seats are given for traveling? See, every year the railways they publish their circulars. Okay, so just for you, I can say that if you want to travel in a first class AC, there is a difference between first and second class AC, and you have to pay the 1/3 of the amount of that first class AC. After you get two promotions, then you can travel in that AC without any nothing will be. And the way the AC you can travel, it depends on the trains which you are choosing. In Rajdhani, you get the second AC, one seat initially, and in other trains, the express and meals, you get the first AC trains, and with that 1/3 fare, the difference of first and second class. Uh, Anything else? Okay, we are getting too many questions. Can central ministerial approach can do transfer in home city? Such questions should not be answered in this platform. You can ask these answers not on this platform. Next question is, sir, for final year subjects, is rapid revision notes enough for UPSC or should we go through main notes? I think the Dr. Bhavan and Dr. Sanjeev has already given the answer for this. Just I want to add, stick to simple things, not take so many things. Okay. Thank you, sir, for clearing my fear of settling outside my vicinity. Okay. Thank you, Shiva Prasad. I belong to Himachal Pradesh. I served in West Bengal for the past 4 years. You get the opportunity to intermix with their cultures and definitely new languages. And once you are there, you definitely feel that you have experienced something new in your life. Okay, Sanjeev has
Okay.
already answered.
Yeah, we'll
Okay.
now we'll start with Dr. Abhishek, who is working in CGHS. So now we'll
Okay.
discuss about CGHS cadre.
Okay, Dr. Sagar, I will be leaving and I have some
Okay, okay,
this West Bengal Association meeting tomorrow. For that, I have to prepare the presentation. Okay. Thank
okay,
you.
okay,
If
okay.
any doubts are there from the railways, we can take one more other sessions or they can enroll through programs. And last thing I want to add that whatever Dr. Jindal, Dr. Bhavan, Dr. Sagar, everyone is discussing, it's just a base. And definitely it will vary from person to person. It won't apply to one of you. It won't be applied to all of you. So the thing is that it is just a base. Everyone has to be analyzed differently. And for that, I would request the Sagar and the Asta is already coordinating with these programs so that we can each and every one of you who wants to get enrolled, we can help them. What is the best way that suits to them? What is the best way of their strategy that suits to them? So then only it will be more means the results will be good. So it's just a basic outline. So if any of you having a difficulty or facing that how that curriculum should be taken up by you, you can contact our team. Okay, last thing is the duration of DNB in railways. The DNB or its MD program, it's always the same. It's a 3 years duration. Okay, over to you, Dr. Salu. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Nishant. Now Dr. Abhishek will talk about the CGHS.
Yes, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, Abhishek.
So I'm actually posted in CGHS Guwahati since 2024. So in CGHS, the work culture is mainly on OPD basis, and the OPD starts from 7:30 a.m. and it closes by 2 p.m. So in between that only, you have to see patients on OPD basis. Many people will come. Generally, you on an average you need to attend 60 to 80 patient per day. Sometimes you give some medicines for some acute cases, and sometimes you just give the follow-up medicines which the chronic disease patients are taking for long term. So this is the thing, and exposure is mainly clinical. Administrative things you don't need to do as a MO until or unless you are posted as a CMO, IC, or you are the only doctor in that particular wellness center. And regarding the postings, so postings is actually all India basis. Yes, they will try to give you to such a place which is as much as closer to your hometown, but it is not assured. It subjects to the availability of the post. So that's all about CGHS.
Yeah, Abhishek, many people have question regarding the post graduation opportunity in CGHS. When
So
they'll
in CGHS, actually, after 3 years of your service, you are eligible for the this UL, and after 5 years of service, you are eligible for the study leave.
okay, and what about the sponsorship for central institutes?
Yes, you get sponsorship in INIs, in AIMS and PGI. There are particular seats in few branches which are reserved for the doctors of CHS or CGHS.
And about the transfer policy in CGHS?
Transfer is actually not that much frequent. Uh, Usually it happens whenever a doctor applies, but if there is any urgency and the department feels that transfer should be done, then on public interest it can be done on any time in any department.
Okay, so what all facilities you are getting at the Guwahati means, I mean, quarter and regarding and all.
Yes, CPWD general pool quarters are there for the CGHS doctors, like other departments of the central government. So if you apply, you will get it according to your seniority. And there are some holiday homes also there, which are central government employees are entitled, which are present all over India across the popular tourist spots. And some other allowances also you get in CGHS. I think these things you get in all other services also as a Group A gazetted officer.
Okay, someone has asked that is CGHS first preferred cadre? Should I get low rank?
So it actually we cannot say it before now. So according to the vacancies available and according to the how many number of people have preferred that cadre, so these things matters in the availability or allotment to a particular cadre. So, but if your rank is a bit good, a bit lower than if your marks are high, then there is high chance of getting the cadre of your preference first.
Anyone have questions for CGHS? Yeah, someone has asked that CGHS has same perks similar to IRHS.
Yes, except this railway pass, I think many things are similar to CGHS and railways.
Okay. So like in railways, the mainly problem is regarding the transfer. If you want to get transfer to your home city is very difficult. Is the same thing in CGHS also?
In CGHS, actually, in the North India, in the big CGHS like CGHS Calcutta, CGHS Guwahati, so in these zones, there is a lot of vacancies in CGHS also. But actually, due to the shortage of manpower, sometimes in which zone you are allotted, sometimes you may get some difficulties also to get the transfer. But after 2 years of your service, you are eligible for applying to the transfer to your higher authorities, and you will get it if the vacancy is there.
Okay. Someone has asked like if you want to left for PG, is there any bond in CGHS?
Yes, yes. If you go for doing PG while using this study leave and this service quota, then you need to serve for at least 5 years after completion of your PG.
Okay. What is the salary in CGHS? I think it's already answered. Salary in every cadre of the CMS will be remain same. Yeah, any more questions? Now we'll move to MCD. Then we'll look into the other questions. Yeah, thank you, Abhishek, for answering all the doubts. We'll come back to you in due time. Till that, we'll move to Dr. Safira, so that she can tell you about the MCD.
Hello. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible, Zafir.
This side Dr. Sapriya here. I'm working in MCD, Municipal Corporation of Delhi at Delhi. I joined back in November 2024. And MCD, in MCD, we are allotted with like, we are having hospitals, we are having our dispensaries. So the work culture is like in hospitals, you are allotted with departments. Like in my hospitals, I am having every branch, like in other hospitals, we are having DNB courses also. So you are given a specific department, whether it's pediatrics, obs gynae, and in dispensaries, the working hours are fixed, like it's from 9 to 4 p.m. And in hospitals, we are having fixed working hours of 48 hours per week, and that can be divided according to the department. Like in OPD branches, we are having 9 to 4, and in other, like in pediatrics, obs and gynae, you can have nights also. But at the same time, you are having the compensation of this post night off and fixed 40 to 8 hours per week. So,
Okay, and what about the salary thing? Many people have asked regarding that MCD will get salary very late. Is it true
it's
or
not. It's a myth. It's not like that. We are getting salary. Basically, like in when I joined, I also came to know this thing. The starting 3 months, we have to do the procedures of this verification of from our college, from police verification, verification from our estate and all. So it initially for the starting 3 months we have to remain unpaid, but after that when it start coming now, it will come after 1 month. It's not like it will come on first of every month, but yeah, if it's on 15th of say 15th of May, so next salary will come on 15th of June, but it's not like it will come after a gap of 2 to 3 months, so it's a myth. You see.
okay? So the same questions here for you also regarding the post graduation opportunity in
Yeah,
MCD cadre.
yeah, this is very, yeah, I want to clear this thing. We are having the quota of this. We are like after 3 years, we are MCD is sponsoring for DNB courses in our hospitals only. We are having 3 hospitals: Swami Dayanand Hospital, Hindura Hospital, and Kasturba Hospital. We are eligible for this sponsorship quota and EOL after 3 years. And after 5 years, we are having sponsorship quota in Central Institute like AIMS and other Central Institutes. But this is perk of MCD that we are eligible for DNB quota after 3 years in our hospitals.
Okay, and regarding sponsorship in central institutes.
Yeah, Central Institute sponsorship we will get after completion of 5 years only, and we are eligible for EOL for Central Institute after 3 years.
Okay, so for central institutes, if you are taking the sponsorship, so
Yeah.
how many year bond is there in MCD?
I guess this bond is for 4 to 5 years. I'm not
Okay,
sure, but it's around 4 to 5 years.
okay. One more question is there, are there growth opportunities in CMS like CMA's workshop to sharpen our skill time to time?
See, MCD, you have to be stay in Delhi, and Delhi is a hub for growth opportunity. All right, here even if you compare to I belong from Himachal. I did my UG from the same college from as Dr. Nishant. And see, the dispensary of Delhi is having more number of patients than some departments in which we are having in my state. So more patient, more number of opportunity to learn from those. So it's never a thing that we stop our growth from here. We have a lot of opportunities to learn from anywhere.
Okay. So what about that? What all facilities you are getting after joining the MCD?
Yeah, in Delhi, we are having, beside this salary, we are having many allowances. Like we are having HRA, we are having this vehicle allowance, which is near about 8 to 9,000, I guess. And we are having this 3 BHK is allotted to us in nice places like in South Delhi. And there is a booklet regarding this, all the allowances we are having. You can go
Okay.
through this booklet. A lot of allowances are there.
Yes, someone has asked like for central institutes like AIMS quota, we get DNB only. No, no.
No.
In
In
fact,
AIMS, we are having MD and MS.
yeah,
DND
yeah.
is just in Hindura Hospital, Swami Dayanand Hospital, and then Kasturba.
Okay. So, anybody have any more questions regarding MCD? So, if you want to ask, you can also ask by unmuting yourself. Yeah, how much marks needed to be in safe zone to get selected in UPSC CMS, including written and interview?
Yeah,
So, yeah,
this is
Safira, you
secretly.
want to
Mm,
answer?
yeah. In written, maximum people are having more or less the same marks. Like cutoff के like थोड़ा सा ऊपर. But in the game changer is interview. In interview you have to try to score more and more, because it is the interview only which makes a lot of difference. So I remember I scored around 75 in the interview, and in written I do not remember, but it's around near around about the cutoff only. But yeah, interview, prepare for that, because in written more or less everybody get around same marks.
Okay. For MCD, what rank to expect to get the select? matlab, those who want to take
Yeah.
MCD, what will be the rank?
This time only the seats are 20, I guess. In my time, around 200 to 300 seats were there in MCD. So I cannot give idea about this, because this time the competition will be very high. Only 20 seats are there. So it depends upon the number of people, like how they are filling this. Some want CGHS first, and some want railway, some wants MCD. It doesn't, like, you should not focus on this right now, just focus on the preparation only.
Okay. So thank you, Safira. And Sanjeev and Bhavan, that you can also answer this question regarding how much marks needed to be in safe zone if you are want to.
I think based on the last year, anything above 300 in the written would be safe for open if you do not have any sort of reservation. And I think interview, the marks are mostly given in a very restricted range. So that would only change your rank, not much help in your selection unless you are in a very near the cutoff.
Okay, so what is the score for correct answer and negative marking? Yeah, many people have confusion regarding the negative marking.
The main thing regarding UPSC CMS to keep in mind, there is no negative marking. Means I think it's one third of that is. But you should try to avoid mainly the silly mistakes regarding that is most of the students they make. And in the multiple choice questions, also I think they give some marks also. So if you make some correct answer from the which you have, you can make that also.
Okay, thank you. How to practice test for the exam is to a 10-year paper enough for the practice?
I think the questions which are available on the UPSC side, they're enough. You can practice and in fact prioritize the topics.
What should be the sequence? Yeah, you have listened already all the people who are working in different cadre. Now it's up to you that if you want to take IRHS or CGHS or MCD, it's totally your choice. It's not been asked to other people.
I think for that practice paper question, I think you should do from the 2018. I think there was a change of pattern before that, so it would be better to practice the papers of the same pattern.
Yeah, any more questions? Anybody want to ask? Otherwise, we'll close it. Is it 2 marks for each correct answer?
It's
Listen.
something more than two, like it's two. There are 240 questions, and they have total of 500. So 500 by 240 gives something more than 2 point something.
Yeah, let me tell you one thing. Some questions have more marks allotted to them, which are some questions they will allot more marks so that, and the same negative marking will be more for them if you're gonna mark wrong for that questions. So it's not like that 2 marks for each questions. Some question will be there in your paper that they'll allot more marks for that. So if you'll get corrected, you'll get that approximately 2.5 marks, or otherwise there will be more negative for that question also. So keep this in mind. No, there's no negative. He just told ki 1/3. So in all the prospectus of the UPSC CMS, it's not. They have not mentioned regarding the negative marking exact. They have just mentioned that 1/3 of the marks allotted to that question. Okay, so it's depend on ki how much marks allotted to that questions. They're gonna put negative marking for that questions. So maybe possible some questions will have more marks. Any more questions? Otherwise, we're gonna close this session today. Yeah, welcome, Swapnil. And so we're gonna close the session. Thank you, Bhavan. Thank you, Sanjeev. Thank you, Abhishek and Safira for your time, and hope those people have attended this webinar today. We're gonna get so much of help, and they'll clear the exam, and all the best for you also, for Bhavan, Sanjeev, and in your career. So thank you everyone for joining our webinar.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay.